Good evening and welcome to the June 11, 2024 meeting of the Abington Board of School Directors. I note the attendance of all board members. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you, Dr. Fetcher. Thank you, community members. The Abington Board of School Director has convened this evening's meeting at the Administration Building, and the public is welcome. In consideration of the health and safety of the school community, this meeting is also being broadcast live on the Abington School District YouTube channel. This meeting is being recorded and will be accessible on the district's website and cable channel no later than Friday, June 14th, 2024, to allow those members of the public who cannot participate to view the proceeding at a later time. Comments from citizens will be conducted in person and by phone. Information regarding participating remotely in public comment will be displayed on the screen at the time of public comment. The board thanks the public in advance for its cooperation. This is truly a place where we hold dignity and respect in high regard. Both your presence and your voices are welcome in this space. Dr. Fetcher, do we have any additional agenda items for this evening?
Yes, I would like to take a moment to congratulate the 674 graduates in the class of 2024. I was so proud to be part of our annual commencement ceremony last week honoring our now Abington Senior High School alumni. They amassed, and this is where the parents get very excited, a total of $10,118,523 in scholarships to continue their education or training. I would like to take a moment to commend our Abington Senior High School administrative team under the leadership of Dr. Swift for making that feat possible, as well as the class sponsors, our facilities department and technology team for ensuring a smooth and efficient ceremony just in time before the thunderstorm. I also would like to take a moment to applaud our student speakers, including the 3 valedictorians and 2 salutatorians, as well as the student-elected class speaker for giving meaningful, moving, and often humorous addresses to their peers. Congratulations again to our graduates. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. Any additional items to be brought about from my fellow board members? Okay. We will open up with comments from fellow board members. Mr. Allen?
Good evening, everyone. Thank you.
Ms. Frazier?
Hi, guys. Thank you for coming out to attend the meeting.
Ms. Eisenhart?
Good evening. Great to see everyone tonight.
Dr. Mowry?
Nice to see everyone here tonight.
Ms. Spalding?
It's good to see a full house.
Mr. Muhammad?
Happy June, happy Pride. Good evening.
Ms. Fazy?
Good evening, everyone.
Ms. Hartman?
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for coming tonight.
And thank you for coming out tonight. Just to highlight some of those voices, it was Peter who said during the graduation that we have to remember the opportunities that we have and the impact that we have on our community. It was Nathan who said, do not confine yourself. It was Brody who said, success is not a destination, it is a mindset. It was Stephen who reminded us to be thankful. It was Iris who said, try new things and stay on your happy path. And it was Ava who reminded us to show gratitude. I am so proud of our graduating seniors, and we will definitely continue to honor them as they move forward with the next chapter. Dr. Fetcher, let's proceed with our student council representatives.
All right, at this time, I'd like Bryson Edmonds to come forward from Abington Senior High School.
Good evening, Ms. Brown, Dr. Fetcher, and members of the Board of School Directors. My name is Bryson Edmonds, and I've recently been elected as the upcoming Student Council President of Abington Senior High School for the 2024-2025 school year. I'm honored to have this opportunity, and I look forward to interacting with the board in the future. In addition to my election, other student council and class council officers have also been elected ahead of the 2024-2025 school year. These elections concluded last Friday, June 7th. Abington Abington Senior High School celebrated the graduation of seniors on June 5th, 2024. And Abington Senior High School is proud to report $10,118,523 in scholarships awarded to the class of 2024.
Ow!
This is an amazing representation of how hard students have been working and what all their hard work earns them. Abington Senior High School was awarded $40,960 through the PA Liquor Control Board's Reducing Underage Drinking and Dangerous Drinking Grant. Finals are underway at the high school and have been in full effect since Friday, June 7th. Students are working hard to finish out the school year on a positive note. Madeline Krasner. Madeline Krasner is a winner of Montgomery County's Art and Prose of Freedom contest. The essay was entitled Brighter Future. Our scholar will receive a certificate and a $100 Amazon gift card.
That's awesome.
Again, I want to reiterate how honored I am to be able to represent Abington Senior High School, and I thank you for the privilege to be able to speak to all you in the 2024-2025 school year. Have a restful and relaxing summer. Respectfully submitted, Bryson Edmonds.
Thank you, Bryson. Thank you, Bryson. And we are finishing the year strongly, as you can hear, and I appreciate that and the efforts of our students, especially during the end of the year, which is a difficult time, I'm sure not just for the students, but for their parents and teachers as well. But we appreciate you finishing strong there. At Abington Middle School, I'm going to ask Ishmael Jallo to please come forward.
Good evening, Ms. Brown, Dr. Fesher, and the members of the Board of School Directors. I'm Ishmael Jallo, and I'm on the Executive Board of the Student Council for Abington Middle School. SATA wrapped up the school year with our annual SATA Games event. Approximately 115 students divided up into 8 teams spent 2 hours every day after school competing in a variety of sports and activities such as kickball, soccer, volleyball, basketball, and ping pong, and tug of war. The teams, each led by a pair of 8th grade captains, practiced and performed their song and cheer at the SATA Games finale. An environmental organization called Gen Z for Sustainability presented to the Going Green Club about recycling practices in Abington Township. They asked club members about household items, what category they would be considered, trash, plastic, paper, etc., and what bin they should be placed in, gray, blue, or green. Gen Z for Sustainability also had the club pass along this message. Last year, Abington Township was the only municipality in the state of Pennsylvania to achieve an A+ rating from the DEP for municipal recycling. But we need to be vigilant and stay focused. We want to remind you to recycle properly at home in Abington Township. Blue bins are for clear and colored glass, plastic labeled 1 through 7, and aluminum and steel cans. Everything in the recycling bins should be clean and dry. Gray bins are for paper, cardboard, newspaper, junk mail, magazines, and books. Nothing with food residue, such as pizza boxes, can go in the bins. Please do not put your recycling in plastic bags, and please remember to not put any trash in the recycling bins. If in doubt, throw it out. Let's keep Abington green and sustainable. The Abington Middle School Library held a scholastic book fair from May 20th through June 6th. All students were brought in with their ELA classes to shop the fair. We also had a few open sales days where kids could drop in to shop outside of their scheduled book fair time. Many found books to read over the summer. This year, Abington Middle School had 4 teams that participated in the Reading Olympics. Each team divided up to 25 novels for their members to read. The culmination of Reading Olympics took place on April 15th when the 4 teams were involved in the Reading Olympics competition with other schools in Montgomery County. The teams answered 3 rounds of questions about the books, won ribbons, and had a fun evening of celebrating the reading of books. The School Beautification Club met once a month this past year. They planned and created a piece of art to be displayed in the center stairwell approaching the 3rd floor. A mural with "All Are Welcome" will beautify the school next year. The AMS-GSA has had a fun and educational year. They've learned all about the LGBTQ icons through a scavenger hunt of sorts. They've also welcomed a few guest speakers who talked about their lives and living their truths. Throughout the year, they created and deepened friendships. They are looking forward to another exciting year next year. While we've been finishing up our work for this school year, students in all grades have been involved in team award assemblies, field days, and many other special team events. These times have been fun times to enjoy friends and to spend the last moments of the year with our teachers. Last week, we completed our 4th and final end of the year team celebration for 8th graders. These events honored each student as they plan to make their way to the high school. In addition, we were able to hear some very inspiring words from our principals, teachers, and fellow students. We wish our 8th graders success as they move to the next step in their educational careers. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was a very detailed report as well, and some really good messages there for our community. We appreciate our Abington Middle School students for being active in our community as well.
Yes, thank you for your voices and congratulations on your new position, Mr. Bryson. Dr. Fetcher, please proceed with this evening's honors.
Okay. I think this is the moment that many people in the room have been waiting for. We're excited this evening. I'm going to ask that Ms. Marie Capitola, Director of Special Education, and Ms. Marie Levin, Supervisor of Special Education, to begin by recognizing the students who represented Abington School District at the 2024 Special Olympics. And this will be followed by Dr. Swift, Principal of the Abington Senior High School, and Mr. Charles Grasty, our Athletic Director, to share highlights from the 2024 spring sports season at Abington Senior High School. Thank you.
Good evening, Dr. Fetcher, Mrs. Brown, and members of the Board of School Directors. My name is Marie Capitolo. I am the Director of Special Education for the Abington School District. I'm here to present to you tonight Abington's Special Olympics athletes so that we may honor their courageous accomplishments. Also with me tonight is Ms. Marie Levin, Supervisor of Special Education in Abington and also the coordinator of Abington's Special Olympic event. Tonight we have many of our Special Olympic athletes in our audience with their families, but not all students are present. We will announce every name. When your child's name is called, they will come up to the lectern to receive their gold medal. Please feel free to accompany your child if you need to, and there are also several special education supervisors to assist. At the end of the presentation, the students and parents will convene in the lobby for a group photo. I'd like to invite Mrs. Brown down to the lectern, and at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Levins.
Good evening. Before we bring our shining athletes up, I just wanted to take a quick moment to acknowledge and give a shout out to a few people that are in the room and that helped to make this day come together, because it wasn't just one day, it was a full year of planning. So first and foremost, a huge thank you to our teachers, paraprofessionals, who many of you are in this room right now here to be with your students, which is just a testament to how much you care for the students that you work with. And our related service team members, working since October to plan for this event and bringing your buildings together to support our students. To the nursing staff, transportation team, and Chartwells for making sure that our students were well fed and cared for and got to and from the event safely at Hatboro Horsham. We appreciate them as well. And before we bring the athletes up, thank you to the parents for allowing your students to participate in this event and for being such an important role in your children's lives. And we're excited that many of you got to come to the event and participate, and we hope that it was lasting memories for all of you.
Miss
All right,
Levins. Miss
now we're
Levins.
going to bring our shining athletes up. So first and foremost, starting from Abington Middle School, we'll go in alphabetical order.
Miss Levins.
Yeah.
Prior to doing that, I want to first recognize that I believe today is a special day for you. It's your birthday. And I feel that it's also important to know that there's probably no better way that you'd like to celebrate your birthday because of your dedication and hard work. So I'd be remiss if I didn't say that. Happy birthday.
Thank you, Dr. Fetcher. And I appreciate you not sharing how old I am.
Yeah.
Thank you. And you're absolutely right. I'm happy to be here with all of these students and the team and the special education team that's here to support our kids. So first, Joseph Bizanis. Joseph participated in our 25-meter dash and softball throw. Not present tonight is Chase Durant. He participated in the 200-meter dash, long jump, and softball throw. Jaden Garcia Sandoval, also not present, 50-meter dash, long jump, and softball throw. Sky Hassey, 200-meter dash, long jump, hit and release, also not present tonight. Ian Ismalanji, 200-meter dash and softball throw. Adam Jennings, 50-meter dash, softball throw. Luigi Joseph, present tonight, looking dapper in his suspenders. 50-meter dash, long jump, and softball throw. Braylee Judge, 50-meter dash, long jump, and softball throw, not present. Bridget Santino, 50-meter dash, tennis ball throw. Elizabeth Shabat, 25-meter dash, hit and release, not present tonight. Morgan Spencer, 50-meter dash, tennis ball throw. Come on down, Morgan. Emma Whitaker, 200-meter dash, long jump, and softball throw. Amelia Wycheck, 50-meter dash and softball throw. Our second school representing, we have two students that participated from Copper Beach Elementary. We have Connor Burton 50-meter dash, long jump, and softball throw. And Connell McGeehan, 50-meter dash, long jump, and softball throw. Representing Highland Elementary, Connor Gill is here tonight. 50-meter dash and tennis ball throw. Lucy Givnish, not present tonight. 50-meter dash and tennis ball throw. Cole Ewan, 50-meter dash and tennis ball throw, and he is here. And we have two more schools left representing McKinley. Mitchell Briggs. 200-meter dash, long jump, and softball throw. Aiden Carey, 200-meter dash, long jump, and tennis ball throw. And his brother, Brandon Carey, 50-meter dash and tennis ball throw. Kira Donley, 50-meter dash and tennis ball throw. I believe Kira is here tonight. Stephen Foy is also here tonight. 50-meter dash, long jump, and softball throw. Put your medal on, Valentino or Val Guido, 20-meter dash, long jump, and softball throw. Sean Hickey, 50-meter dash, long jump, and tennis ball throw. Sean's not here tonight. Haley Lang, also not here tonight. 50-meter dash, long jump, softball throw. Aiden Mack. 200-meter dash, long jump, and tennis ball throw. Avery McLaughlin, 50-meter dash, long jump, and softball throw. Don't think Avery's here tonight. Gavin Paul, 50-meter dash, tennis ball throw. Not here. Sophia Tribina, she is here tonight. 200-meter dash, long jump, and tennis ball throw. Aiden Vandy, 50-meter dash, long jump, softball throw. Connor Burns, 50-meter dash, long jump, and softball throw. He is representing our students from Roslyn Elementary, and we have a few more from Roslyn. Logan Burns is here tonight. 50-meter dash, long jump, and softball throw. Sahara Felder, 50-meter dash, long jump, and tennis ball throw. Karna Goretti, 50-meter dash, long jump, and softball throw. Charlie Inkenbrandt, he is here tonight. 50-meter dash, long jump, and tennis ball throw. James Laredo, 50-meter dash, long jump, and softball throw. Also known as Jimmy. Deacon Lawrence, 25-meter dash, hit and release. Anthony Mendez, 50-meter dash, long jump, and softball throw. Gabe Sarceno Avia, 50-meter dash, long jump, and softball throw. Ana Torre, 50-meter dash, long jump, and softball throw. And last but certainly not least, James Walker, who is here tonight. 20-meter dash, long jump, and softball throw. Congratulations to all of the athletes.
At this time, the Special Olympic athletes and their families can go out into the lobby to have a group photo. Thank you very much.
Continue with our athletic awards.
Thank you. And to come behind that, I'm so full. It's beautiful. At this time, I'd like to bring Mr. Grasty up, our athletic director, so he can provide an overview to our board of directors, our superintendent, regarding our spring 2024 sports honors. Thank you, Mr. Grasty.
Thank you for joining us, Ms. Brown.
Mr. Grasty, could you just hold till some of the people can come in?
Sure.
Thank you. I know that there's limited space. So. Thank you, Mr. Grasty.
Good evening, Dr. Fetcher, Ms. Brown, and members of the Board of School Directors. Tonight, I am very excited and proud to share the outstanding accomplishments of our student athletes, teams, and coaches in the spring of 2024. First, I would like to introduce our Abington boys volleyball team, who was led by Coach Madeline Robinson. The Abington boys volleyball team had an exciting season with a record of 7-10, including a thrilling victory over District 1's number 11 seed playoff team, William Tennant. The Ghosts won 3-2 and had many spectators standing and cheering throughout the majority of the game. The boys volleyball team also had 2 athletes receive all-league honors. Daniel Mayo received second team all-league, and Isaac Bernstein was selected to the honorable mention all-league team in the very challenging Liberty Division. Congratulations to our boys volleyball team for an exciting season. Next, I would like to recognize the Abington boys lacrosse team, who was led by Coach Michael Duffy. The Abington boys lacrosse team finished the season with an overall record of 5-13, which included a 5-4 record in a very difficult Suburban 1 Liberty Division. The boys team was guided by a very talented senior class of Jesse Atkins, Connor Cross, Benjamin Eyre, Connor Pendergast, Corey Tobin, and Robert Zuccato. Matthew Miller received recognition for his stellar play by being selected to the first team all-league team, and Connor Pendergast received second team all-league honors in the Liberty Division. Matthew and Connor were also captains of this year's team. Congratulations to our boys lacrosse team, as well as Coach Mike Duffy, for a fun and exciting season. Next, I would like to have our girls and boys track coaches join us. Coach Neely. You can both come up. The Abington girls track and field team finished their season being very competitive and had several student athletes receive recognition for their efforts. With us this evening, we have Ella Swanyoung and Hannah Winters. First team all league honors in the 400 relay, Diana Coyle, Rose Coyle, Ella Swanyoung, and Hannah Winters. Also receiving first team honors was our 1600 relay, which is 4 laps, and we all know how hard that can be, which included Rose Coyle, Diane Coyle, Sydney Smith, Ella Swanyoung, and also receiving all league were Peyton Faribault in the 800 and Ella Swanyoung in the 200 meter dash. Diana Coyle also received honorable mention all league in the 200 meter dash. District qualifiers for our girls track team included Diana Coyle, Rose Coyle, Sydney Smith, Peyton Faribault, Ella Swanyoung, and Hannah Winters. The team was led by 7 seniors, Diana, Rose, Maddie, Sky Harrison, Shaylee James, Nora Loftus, and Sydney Smith. Congratulations and thank you for an exciting season. Next is our boys track and field team. The Abington boys track and field team finished their season being very competitive as well and had several student athletes receive recognition for their efforts. With us this evening, we have Luke Coleman, James Stewart, Jameer Clinton, and Anthony D'Angelo. The all-league selections were: first team included Luke Coleman in the 400-meter dash as well as the 200-meter dash. The 1600-meter relay, which included Evan Diaz, Peter Murray, Anthony D'Angelo, and Jameer Clinton. The 4x800-meter relay was also selected to the all-league first team and included Evan Diaz, Chase Eli, Peter Murray, and James Stewart. Chase Eli was also selected to the first team in the Liberty Division in the 3,200-meter run. Yes, that is 8 times around the track. Could you imagine running that now? No. Peter Murray received second team all-league honors in the 800-meter run, as well as honorable mention in the 1,600 meters. District qualifiers included Luke Coleman, Evan Diaz, Chase Eli, Peter Murray, Tyler Kwan, Anthony D'Angelo, Braden Davis, Caden Humphreys, Jameer McClinton, and James Stewart. Coach Schaefer was also a part of the program, and thank you for a fun and exciting season. Unified Track, coached by Ms. Pamela Smith, had an exciting season. Unified Track finished first place in the Wissahickon Track Tournament and finished third at the Abington Unified Track and Field Invitational. The Unified Track and Field team had 23 student athletes and is a fully inclusive co-ed high school sports program which successfully brings together students with or without disabilities. They train together and compete as equal teammates, and through this experience becomes friends. The interscholastic unified sports teams are regarded like every other interscholastic sports team at the high school. Congratulations to our unified track team. Next, we have girls lacrosse coached by Meg McLean. The girls lacrosse team had a successful season led by coaches Meg McLean, Ellie Hughes, Zach Kluver, and Natalie Dram. This was a very talented and hardworking group. Our girls lacrosse team finished this season 10-8 and made the very challenging District 1 playoffs as the number 23 seed. The 6 seniors that helped guide the team were Harper McGinley, Piper McGinley, Madden Murray, Eleanor Pennycamp, Jocelyn Pollock, and Piper Young. The first team all-league honors were senior captain Harper McGinley, who will continue her playing career at Bryant University, and sophomore Kathleen Pennycap, who surpassed 100 goals this season. The second team included junior Jaden Bagsby and sophomore Carly Hughes. Piper McGinley was selected to the All-League Honorable Mention team. This young team has a very bright future and looking forward to being very competitive again in years to come. Congratulations to our girls lacrosse team for an outstanding season. Next is baseball, led by Coach Trey Wyalona. The 2024 baseball team finished their season with a 5-11 record. While in his first year as head coach, Coach Trey enjoyed his team that included 8 seniors returning from last year's state championship qualifier. All league selections were Calvin Judge at second base and Chase Wolf as a designated hitter. Senior captain Chase Goodson was selected to the Liberty Division All-League second team. From Coach Wyonona, through the ups and downs, this was the best group of young men that I've ever had the privilege to coach. Your memories will last a lifetime. Congratulations to our baseball team and the coaching staff for an exciting season. In conclusion of spring athletics, we have softball led by Coach Tina Hesden, Heather Morgan, and Sandra Jones. With us this evening, we have Danica Santiago, Maggie Equi, Michaela Hesden, and Natalie Brosley. Abington softball finished their season with a 6-12 record, including an impressive 12-2 win over that team down the road on senior night. Although we missed out on the postseason, Coach Tina stated that we were fortunate to work with such a talented and dedicated group of girls, and we are eager to see them continue to grow and reach their full potential as players, students, and individuals. Natalie Brosley, Samantha Klohl, and Mia Loki were selected to the Liberty Division League second team. The honorable mention selections were Elizabeth Hipple and Samantha Winhold. This year's seniors were Natalie Brosley, Caitlin Ellison, Elizabeth Hipple, Charlotte Maraszewski, Grace McCracken, and Hannah Nash. Their senior night was the best one I've seen in all my sports moments. Thank you for your continued support of our Abington student athletes.
All right. A lot of hard work to get to this point, and appreciate our student athletes for all their dedication to represent Abington School District. And I know that it takes a village to make sure that everyone gets to where they need to go when it comes to practices and all sorts of things. So I want to take a moment to thank our families for their support of the student athletes as well, and working with the school to make that all possible.
Indeed, that was fun. My heart is full. I'm going to steal the words from Dr. Swift, and I'll probably be smiling for the rest of the night. That was special. Dr. Fetcher, we can continue with this evening's orientation.
We have
Honors, more honors.
more honors.
More honors.
Yes,
Performing
exciting.
arts,
Yes. I'm going to ask Dr. Matthew Harris, Supervisor of Fine Arts, and Ms. Julie Maragos, Curriculum Lead for K-12 Music, to recognize students who successfully auditioned or were selected to participate in festivals beyond the school district at the region, state, and national levels.
Good evening, Mrs. Brown, Dr. Fetcher, and guests. Ms. Maragos and I are pleased to be sharing several honors with you this evening about our performing arts programming across the district, as well as honoring some of our outstanding student musicians. We'll first begin with our district recognition. The National Association of Music Merchants Foundation has again honored Abington School District with a designation as a Best Communities for Music Education. We thank you, our faculty, administration, staff, students, parents, and community for their steadfast support. Sustaining and continually improving our programming is made possible through that collective support. This designation is a result of a thorough review of our annual application. The application includes detailed questions about a variety of factors that directly and indirectly affect the accessibility and quality of music education for our students. Through this process, NAM seeks to recognize school districts that demonstrate a commitment to excellence and equity in music ed. And now we will honor our student musicians. So students, when you are announced, please come forward. Join Mrs. Brown, Dr. Swift, Ms. Maragos, and Mrs. Voigt to receive your certificate. We honor the following students for their successful auditions and representing Abington School District at the District 11 Pennsylvania Music Education Festivals this school year. Izzy Malfera for chorus, Zenas Colt for chorus, Annika Anderson for band, Eugene Lim for band and orchestra, David Klinger. Okay. And David Klinger for band and orchestra. Isaac Perkins for orchestra. Karan Anderson for orchestra. Elliot Kim for orchestra. Alex Hilliard for orchestra. Jacob Hong for orchestra. Reagan Lee for orchestra. And Will McCoskey for orchestra. And students, if you can just remain right here, we're going to call right from where you are for regions and states. And please don't forget to shake all of these wonderful educators' hands next to you. They want to congratulate you. Participating and representing the school district at the Region 6 PMEA festivals this school year are Annika Anderson for band, Eugene Lim for band, Karan Anderson for orchestra, Elliot Kim for orchestra, and Alex Hilliard for orchestra. And we express special congratulations to Alex Hilliard for representing Abington School District at this year's PMEA All-State Festival, where he participated in the All-State Orchestra.
If I might add a side note, Alex and I went hill and dale to Erie, PA for All-State. From All-State, the All-State auditions, there's a rigorous audition process for districts, regions, as well as All-State. He placed third in the state this year, so he's to be commended for all his efforts, as well as all these other young musicians.
students, we congratulate you on your achievements and well representing the school district. We are proud of you. Please join Ms. Artur for a photograph in the lobby at this time. Ms. Marigus and I are going to conclude this evening performing arts honors with some additional notables about the rest of our ensembles. Thank you.
Our Abington Senior High School Marching Band and Abington Senior High School Color Guard earned multiple first place category ratings across their fall season. Additional caption awards were also earned throughout the season. Our Abington Senior High School band earned an outstanding and superior rating across 2 regional jazz festivals. In May, our Abington Senior High School indoor percussion, jazz band, indoor color guard, and Abington Middle School indoor color guard made notable achievements at the Tournament of Bands, Tournament Indoor Association's Atlantic Coast Championship event in Wildwood, New Jersey. Abington Middle School Color Guard won first place in the Scholastic Middle School Color Guard Division. Abington Senior High School Indoor Percussion Team won 9th place in the Scholastic Regional Marching Percussion Division. And the Abington Senior High School Color Guard won 4th place in the Scholastic Color Guard Division. Abington Middle School and Abington Senior High School music ensembles competed in music festivals hosted in Hershey, PA in May and earned high ratings and a caption award. Students in the Modern Music Makers program also performed and participated in the Arts Quest Music Fest Music Industry Day in Bethlehem, PA this spring, including headlining a next-gen live performance. Abington Senior High School chorale students competed in the Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair Annual School Days Madrigal Competition. The choir placed in the top 5 out of about 30 choirs from Pennsylvania, Maryland, and New Jersey. Students in our Abington Senior High School Orchestra represented the Abington School District at the Montgomery County High School Honors Orchestra this year. And the following students in our Abington Senior High School band represented Abington School District at the Montgomery County High School Honors Band this year. Abington Middle School choir students performed the national anthem at the Temple University men's basketball game on January 24th, 2024 in the Leocoris Center in Philadelphia. And singers from Highland and Overlook Elementary Schools, under my direction, participated in a regional children's choral festival. Singers from McKinley, Overlook, and Roslyn Elementary Schools, also under my direction, participated in the Pennsylvania Music Educators District 11 Elementary Songfest on April 8th, which was hosted here at Abington, took place at the high school. Singers from Abington Middle School, under the direction of Miss Melinda Walker, participated in PMEA's District 11 Middle School Songfest on April 4th. Singers from Abington Middle School, under the direction of Miss Melinda Walker, participated in the American Choral Directors Association's Vocal Thunder Festival on November 17th.
Thank you, Ms. Thank you, Ms. Marigus, and again, congratulations to all the students and faculty who have made these experiences possible. We're very proud of all these accomplishments, performances for, and collaborations with the community, and all of those beyond the accomplishments listed here this evening. So on behalf of both of us and Mrs. Voigt and the entire department, we thank all of you, the stakeholders, for your support for our programming. Have a good night.
Thank you very much. I just want to take a moment as well to recognize first the talents of our individuals and our musicians far surpass anything that I can do musically. And I want to take a moment to realize that that talent is also fostered with extreme dedication and discipline that it takes to be able to reach these levels. And we hear a list of awards, but as someone who has the opportunity to speak to people across many school districts across the country, these awards are extremely impressive. And I am so proud to be a superintendent of a school district that places emphasis on the arts in this way, and also the efforts of our community to make this happen. So thank you to all of the students, the musicians, to their families, and for all of our staff that work extremely hard to make sure that these talents can be fostered into the successes that you see this evening.
Indeed, music is very important to my family. Whether it's a singer or a musician, there's not a time where music is not being played. I just wanted to make a note of the success of our district and being able to see it in practice. It is amazing. And from the words of my 7-year-old daughter who saw the color guard presentation, wow, Mom, I wish I could see this every day. So thank you for all you do to make Abington shine bright and to foster the gifts of our students. We definitely appreciate it. Fellow board members, any additional words? Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you. Dr. Fetcher?
We can move on to our orientation?
Yes, sir.
This evening. Okay. At this time, I would like to ask representatives from CM3, which is an energy services company, or an ESCO, who was awarded the investment grade audit for the school district, to present findings from their audit and recommend scope for the Guaranteed Energy Savings Act, or GIZA, project.
Good evening, Dr. Fetcher, Mrs. Brown, Abington School Board, and community. With me this evening is the team from CM3. This is the team that will be on the project. They're here tonight to share their findings and recommendations on the investment grade audit, also and will be referred to as IGA, which was recently completed. Also related to their presentation, and later tonight will be administration seeking approval for work identified in the IGA at all the elementary schools, administration building, and bus garage. Before I turn it over to CM3, I'll provide a quick 3-minute introduction as to the process we went through to bring us to this point. Leading up to this tonight, it was not a quick process. It was a long process. It has not been taken lightly at all. The buildings need a lot of work. It involves a lot of money. We take that very seriously. The process has lasted for about 3 years to this point. With Abington buildings approaching 20 years, it was identified in approximately 2020 that we had to come up with a plan for the next 10 years. How do we fix our buildings? How do we move forward? To accomplish that, on April 13th of 2021, Abington awarded a facilities condition assessment to Site Logic. Those findings were reported to the board on April 21st, 2022. In those findings, high priority construction was identified as $45 million. That was items that would be required in the first 5 years. Middle school was also identified as a challenge, and there was further investigation required as far as the middle school. Due to the challenges at the middle school and the buildings, it wouldn't have been advisable blindly move into renovating or repairing buildings without having a full plan. Due to that, what we did is we contracted a company for a feasibility study to move forward. 3 firms were interviewed for the process, all became very familiar with the district, and ultimately on November 7th of 2022, the team of Schrader Group and ICS were awarded the contract. On August 29th of 2023, a special board meeting was held to identify their findings. In their findings, in addition to the middle school, which is still ongoing with that firm, $109 million of elementary school work was identified, along with $25 million of athletic and playground work. On September 12th of 2023, I presented Building the Future of Education. During that presentation, I explained that construction is going to be about 5 to 7 years out till we figure out funding, till we figure out exactly how to deal with the middle school. So construction for our building still looks at 5 to 7 years out. We have immediate needs that can't wait, and they were identified to be in the $10 to $15 million range during that presentation. We also identified that these needs are at every building in the district, with the exception of the high school and the middle school, which is still being considered. The work would be overwhelming for us to take on a number of architects, contractors, engineers, construction managers. And at that time, I recommended potentially looking at a Guaranteed Energy Savings Act, or GIZA project. The next step, we sought proposals from 4 companies for a GIZA project. Ultimately, on March 12th of 2024, the school board awarded CM3 the IGA. That was developed for this GIZA project. Over the past 3 months, that was in March, past 3 months, Facilities has worked very closely with CM3 developing the IGA. They met with us. What are your needs? What can we do? What do you need? We also worked with the business office and Mr. Lionetti on the bond and what are the requirements, how can that play in with the bond. In addition, we also identified a potential grant, and working with CM3, we are working through a potential grant that has the potential to provide an additional $5,000 or relieve us of $5 million in this project. So that brings us to tonight and the findings on the IGA. So if I may, I'll turn it over to CM3.
Thank you, Todd. First off, I think you hit the, yeah, okay, either way. Our agenda tonight is going to be for the CM3 overview, and then the GIZA benefits, implementation process, project summary, savings, rebates, and then finally the project schedule. I'd like to introduce the team. John Hollister, who's one of our owners, Executive Vice President. He unfortunately wanted to be here tonight, but is unable to because he is out of the country on business, on a long planned business trip. I myself, Rob Konerko, I'm engineering of development. I've been in this industry for 40 plus years. I'd like to have Bob Tobin and Jacqueline introduce themselves real briefly.
Good evening. Bob Tobin, project manager with CM3. I've been in the industry for 22 years. Been running this project. Looks forward. Right.
Hi, I'm Jacqueline Tobin. I'm an energy engineer for CM3, and I have been working on developing this project.
Thank you. Okay, next, I want to talk about the company CM3. CM3 was founded in 2003. But they were also an offshoot of a company called Invensys. Invensys was in this industry, PC, for over 40 years, which is basically the beginning of the whole PC company process and performance contracting. We have 170 plus employees. We have approximately 80 plus trucks, and we're about 20 minutes down the road here in Fort Washington. So if there's any problems, issues, concerns, we can be here in 20 minutes or less. Also, we have extensive in-house capabilities. Besides our PC group, we have engineering abilities. We also have our controls group. We have maintenance, mechanical service. We have control service. We also do fire alarm security, CCTV cameras, and we also have IT and system integrations and phone systems. GIZA, why? It enables the school district to implement facility-wide improvements, but also to count on energy savings, operational savings, and capital cost avoidances. We're a single prime contractor. It takes away a lot of finger pointing because when you get into construction, bid, plan specs, you have the engineers engineer it, then it's bid, and then you have many contractors and you got a lot of finger pointing going on. Here you have one person to deal with. We have to take care of it. with that in mind, the next slide is there's no change orders with us. Same thing. You don't get the finger pointing and somebody saying, well, that made me have to do a change order, or them do a change order. We take care of all of that. And the only change orders that would ever come is if it was a school district initiated change order. And that is the school district wants to add a piece of equipment or something that was not in the original scope. Single point of accountability, you'll have one person to deal with, which is Mr. Tobin. And he has full authorization from CM3 to make on-the-spot decisions to make sure that the job gets done on time and right correctly. School district has a lot more input. As Todd has said, there's been a lot of input during the IGA process that will continue. Once this contract is approved, then we will immediately be having meetings with the facilities people and planning what we can get done this summer. And also with this, it lowers maintenance cost, operational budgets. Investment grade audit. This is what we've just completed. An investment grade audit basically is it's a very detailed exam of the HVAC equipment, lighting, insulation windows, all those factors. And what we also do is we actually put an age on it. We look at the age of the equipment, also the life expectancy of it through ASHRAE, and then also the condition of it. All those things go into the IGA. In addition to that, we also go through utility bills, do energy savings calculations. We have engineered drawings for this work that is proposed, and we also did a plans and specs and bid process. Calculated the energy savings and put that all into one big spreadsheet, which was presented to the school district. Next, final project scope. Some of the key energy initiatives is building automation, CO2 controls, and then also dual ASHRAE cycle. These are going to save a lot of money. Also, with integration of the control system, the facilities personnel will have easier access and quicker access to the information. They can use their phones. If they have a laptop or something with them, they can use that to interface and fix the equipment on site. The major equipment installations is roofs is Copper Beach and the admin building, and boilers is Rydell West and Copper Beach, and then chiller Rydell West, and then heat pumps is Overlook and Highland and Willow Hill. Another thing we do is we do competitive subcontracting. So we have the engineering drawings, the specs. We go out and get competitive pricing with multiple contractors, multiple mechanicals, multiple electricals, multiple controls companies. And then we put the best product together for the customer, for you. Also, we get equipment pricing. We only price top tier manufacturers, Trane, Carrier, York, which is now JCI. We procure the equipment directly. We don't have vendors buy it for us. That way also lowers overheads, profits, drops everything down so the school district gets more for their money. Project scope. The base project scope is going to be for the administration, Copper Beach, Highland, Overlook, Roslyn, Rydell West, Willow Hill, and the bus garage. And on those, the major, all of them are going to have the controls components with the CO2, with the ASHRAE cycle, and the interface of the buildings, and a lot of programming going into that for the energy savings. The other projects that'll be done is on the admin center. There'll be a roofing project. On Copper Beach is boilers and a metal roof. Then at Highland, Overlook, and Willow Hill, there's heat pumps being replaced and controls. And then Rydell West is boiler and chiller, and Roslyn is mostly controls. Option one is McKinley and Rydell East. Mostly at McKinley, it's a boiler, the controls, of course, and then also is the all the air handling units. The air handlers in that building are, I think, 1968 vintage. Rydell East is going to be a new roof and also rooftop units that are also approximately the same age. And then second and third options is lighting for McKinley and Rydell East. Energy savings initiatives is the biggest ones are BAS. And with the building automation, again, it's the interphaseability, the flexibility for the facilities people to work with it. And then also the energy savings through optimization programming of optimum start-stop and a lot of other temperature reset programs and night setbacks and morning warm-ups to make sure the system is ready for the kids in the morning, but also to save as much energy as possible. In addition to that is CO2 demand, which CO2 demand is for larger rooms, gyms, cafeterias, multipurpose rooms. And what it is it looks at the CO2 in the room and it can adjust because you have a room that's designed for 400 people. They bring in outside air for 400 people. When it's empty and there's not 400 people, and you do not have to bring that in. So you save that energy by not having to heat or cool that outside air. Dual ASHRAE standard cycle. ASHRAE has always had 62.1, which is an ASHRAE standard for what outside air requirements are needed for all buildings of all types. After the pandemic, ASHRAE actually just created a new standard, which is ASHRAE 241. And what ASHRAE 241 is it allows if there ever is another pandemic, it allows you to change your outside air requirements for that pandemic. So you will be ready to do that. And that can be done at the front end at the computer rather quickly. Anticipated energy and operational savings, about $75,000 in electricity, $30,000 in gas savings, and then operationally is another $20,000. That amounts to about $125,000 a year for 20 years. And now I'm going to turn you over to the project schedule. I'm going to let our project manager talk to that. Thank you all. Have a good night.
So for the project schedule, in the IGA that was submitted, the project in totality runs through about September of 2025. And a lot of that is due to long lead times for equipment. And also you have some pressing equipment that needs to be addressed at both Highland and Overlook, where you have your heat pumps that are failing and are not going to carry you through this next school year. So we put those as a priority. We've already talked with vendors of securing this equipment ahead of time as quickly as we can, and we can get it installed by the end of this summer or slightly encroaching into the school year possibly. So we have a plan in place to address these immediate needs for the district to make sure that you have comfort for your buildings and your occupants. If it does move forward, we're looking at a delivery for some of the equipment for Highland at the very end of July, around the 22nd of July. And for Overlook, the equipment was confirmed to be available for the second week of August, like around August 9th, for delivery of that equipment. So that allows us time to get the contractors all spooled up, get prepared, have equipment moving out of the way so we can get this new equipment quickly, and hopefully have a lot of that completed for beginning of the school year. Some of this work we're going to have to do during the school year to meet these needs. We've been down this road before where we bring in temporary heating and air conditionings into the buildings to make sure that we have occupant comfort as a number one priority so that it minimizes complaint calls for the facility and everybody else, which we've done on other projects. Recently, last year, we just did some, and it worked out really well for us. It buys us that time to be able to get in there second and third shift to do the work on the buildings and leave your buildings nice and clean for all your occupied spaces. We'll be working a lot behind the scenes to get this equipment done. There's also items in here, as you see, is balancing of equipment, things of that sort. We'll push some of that where we need to get into some of the occupied spaces over Christmas breaks and other breaks to make sure we get the fine tuning of the equipment done as we go through the seasons in the year. Some of these things we can close out during the school year. Other ones are going to carry into next summer as well. One of the big things for this project and the scheduling is really close working with the facilities, bi-weekly meetings at a minimum to make sure we're moving forward, making needs met, getting the right people in the rooms and, working through it. I have full authority, as Rob had said previously, that anything on site. We have on-site management of all contractors and things that are going on. You'll see me a lot walking through all the time. And I have that ability to make immediate decisions to change it. I don't have to go up through the chain of command internally to make sure, hey, we okay budget-wise to do that. I have full authority of the budget and how things are managed, and we'll communicate that with the facilities before we move forward on anything. So, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Any questions?
Thank you. Questions, comments from the board?
I have several questions. You mentioned about a potential grant, and I'm curious by whom, and if it is allowed, would it be a one-time thing and or recurrent each year?
Yes, and it's something we are currently working on. Jacqueline has done a lot of the work, background work on it. That this is the reason also that we have option one. We cannot award option one until we know if we get the grant. Options 2 and 3 are the lighting. If we don't get the grant, we probably won't be able to do the lighting. So we will find out. We've actually been communicating with somebody at the state as recently as yesterday and today, providing additional information. That grant can be as much as $5 million. We don't know how they're going to award it, and they may award partial, all, maybe nothing at all. And it is a single one-time grant. There's $100 million for all the schools across the state total, and it's really not a lot of money for the number of schools. And as I said, we can get a total up to approximately $5 million. It's 75% of the construction costs that we can get from the grant.
Okay, that was one. You mentioned IGA. What's that stand for again?
I'm sorry, investment grade audit. I just use acronyms. I'm an engineer, so I apologize.
I appreciate it. Also, will there be a need for an on-site building engineer based on the BAS technology?
If there is a requirement for a building engineer, one of our engineers will be there. Absolutely.
Well, I meant school-based building engineer.
Oh, actually, school-based engineer. No, one of the big things with building automation systems that we really like to do is make sure that the building facilities personnel are trained in it. So they can run it, they can do everything themselves. They do not need to call us and rely on our people to come out to change things. So that's a big focus for us is training. We actually have a training center in Fort Washington for doing that kind of training.
Thank you.
Does that answer your question?
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Mrs. Frazier, you brought up the investment grade audit. This is the book. This is it right here. This is the book, and it has drawings in it. Has a lot of the information you saw there and other things as well.
Thank you.
This has been on for public display for about a little over the past week, which is a requirement of GISA.
Looks intimidating.
I had one last question for you. The $125 million in energy savings per year, was that for 125,000? Excuse me.
125,000,
Yes.
I was like, wow.
Yeah, that's incredible. That would be amazing. But the 125,000, is that just specifically for option one that you discussed this evening, or was that includes?
Actually, good point.
Okay.
It's actually considered with all the options in there.
Okay, so that would be for the total 5 to 7 year projected
It was for
year plan.
option. It was for the base and for option one only.
Thank you.
Yes.
So I know that it was, you said it and it was looked clear on the screen, and I paged through the 90-some page contract. When it says no change orders,
Yes.
I'm sensitive to that, so that sounds great, but that almost sounds unbelievable. So for my own peace of mind, you're saying that other than if the administration decides they want to change the scope of work to something else, if I don't know your, I'm sorry, but if you're walking through, not the gentleman behind you,
Bob Tobin.
he has the authority to walk through the building and make on the spot changes at the company's expense,
Yes.
not okay,
Absolutely.
100%. So we won't see like the subcontractors come back to you. I know I appreciate you saying you're one-stop shop, But like if subcontractors come back to you and say, you know, this, that, and the other, you're not going to come back to us?
No.
Okay.
We actually we do write change orders to contractors. A lot.
Okay.
And we have to, because things happen like if you went through a regular engineering process, you might have an engineer say, run the pipe here. You get in there and, there's a steel beam. You can't run the pipe there. Now you got to go another 50 feet down, over and back over again to make it work. Well, that's on us.
Okay.
We're not going to come back to you for that.
All right.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah,
Thank you.
Sorry, I have one other question. The Guaranteed Energy Savings Act, is that a federal initiative?
It's a state legislation in the state of Pennsylvania. There's a whole bunch of numbers behind it. The original one goes back into the 90s or the 1980s timeframe, but there's been 4 or 5 different act numbers. And I can't remember the actual number of that. I'd have to look it up, what it is, Act 62 something, I think, right now, 62-1 maybe. Do you know? I don't know.
Thank you.
Any additional questions? With the Giza project, does that overlap at all with the work that we're doing with ICS in regard to identifying issues? And then the second question, is the money coming from the 15 million that we took a bond out for to address issues that were brought up out in the feasibility study? It's June, sorry.
So to the first part of your question, ICS, they, along with the first entity was SiteLogic. ICS expanded upon that, identified the needs. We have also been working with ICS as to what are the options with the middle school? Could it be, I'm just throwing this out, this isn't an option. Could it be at Rydell East? We identified that wasn't a problem, so that's why we're replacing the roof there. So it's been working at some level with ICS. It's not going to interfere with ICS. The work we're doing is not going to have to be pulled out in 5 years from now. It's also fixing things that ultimately are going to have to be fixed, but we still have to identify, and ICS working on identifying what are our needs district-wide and how can we working with Mr. Lionetti, how can we get the funds? So that was the first part to your question. I forget the second part.
$15 million.
$15 million. So we took out the bond for $15 million back in May. Of that, $500,000 went to fees associated with the bond. Some of those monies are planned for playgrounds, which are playgrounds that are in need of some serious work. And then remaining, and you saw some figures here, it's going to play out depending on the grant, but somewhere between $10 and $12 million will be for this project here.
So it's factored within that money from the bonds?
Yes,
was my
correct.
question. Okay. Any additional questions or comments from the board? One last question. The price won't go up due to change orders. Would the price go down?
That's a change order I'll take.
If there's, truthfully, sometimes it does. It all depends on if we decide to horse trade things and do stuff. And we do that too, is we do some horse trading here and there to make things better for the school district. But we work with the school district for what's best for you guys.
And is
Okay.
the contract a set price or is it a percentage?
It's a set price.
Thank you. Any additional questions or comments from the board? Thank you so much for your time and for your expertise.
Thank you.
At this time, we'll move forward with agenda item number 5, which is comments from citizens. Comments from citizens are being conducted both in person and by phone. The phone number to participate in public comment is 267-715-3717 and is featured on the screen at this time. If you are within the room, there are mics to the left and to the right of you. Please be sure to state your name and address. Mr. Sneed, let me know how much time you need for us to give an appropriate amount of time for callers to come in.
About 40 more seconds.
Thank you.
We have a caller.
Thank you.
Our next citizen for public comment is phone number ending in 2830. Please state your full name and address.
Hi, this is Alex Robertson. I'm at 132 Linwood Avenue. So I'm calling just to well, first, thank you for all you do and for another great school year. As we kind of come to the close of this year, I have a fifth grader who's got his promotion ceremony tomorrow, and that reminded me about my 10th grader and kind of the lot of the class of 2026. And I just wanted to bring it to your attention. I don't know that there's a ton that can be done, but so I've overheard my daughter and her friends sometimes refer to their class as the forgotten class and the unloved class of 2026. And just for a little walk down memory lane on as to why. So in 2020, they were sixth graders, and we all remember the end of 2020 was not the way it was planned. All of their end of year activities, their field trips, community day, along with getting the class T-shirts and all that, and the promotion ceremonies were canceled. And then in 2022, as they were eighth graders, that was the final year of the junior high school. And for whatever reason, the ninth graders had a graduation promotion ceremony, but the eighth graders did not. And so the circumstances leading to that are completely understandable, right? Global pandemic and reshuffling a school system. But the result is you have, 1 in 13 kids walking the halls feeling just a little bit less. And as they see other people doing their promotion ceremonies and graduation ceremonies, every time they see a kid, another student wearing a class of 20 whatever shirt, it's a little bit of a poke in their eye. So I'm not suggesting holding an ex post facto sixth or eighth grade ceremony. That would be completely silly. But I do wonder if there's something that could be done for incoming juniors next year to acknowledge that this class has repeatedly received the short end of the stick. At the very least, I just wanted you to be aware of it. If their high school commencement gets rained out or something, we'll know the curse is real, and I'm sure I'll never hear the end of it. Anyway, thank you. Appreciate all you do, and appreciate your time.
Thank you so much. Mr. Sneed, can you confirm that there are no additional callers on the line?
That is confirmed.
Any speakers within the room? Dr. Fetcher?
I just want to thank the caller for your feedback regarding the class of 2026, and we will take that comment into consideration. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We'll move forward with agenda item number 7. Ms. Spalding, can you please read the recommendation to approve the May meeting minutes?
Okay. That the Board of School Directors approves the minutes of the board meeting on May 14th, 2024, and the board meeting on May 28th, 2024.
Second. We have a second. This is a voice vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, and so moved. Ms. Spalding, can you please read the recommendation for approval of the personnel addenda?
That the Board of School Directors approves the changes in personnel as reflected in personnel agendas number 8.1 and 8.1A and confidential addendum number 8.1B.
Second. We have a second. Dr. Fetcher.
Thank you, Ms. Brown. The personnel addendum begins with a request for leaves of absence for 3 professional employees, the rehire of 8 current long-term substitutes for the 2024-25 school year. The personnel addendum continues with the appointment of 2 professional employees for the 2024-25 school year, compensation for additional days for a school nurse, curriculum project, Title I family engagement event, a Title IV mentoring program, IEP meetings, interpreter and translation services, tutoring, and support and auxiliary staff items. I'd like to bring your attention to the retirements of Ms. Jill Lamette, a mathematics teacher at Abington Middle School who has served the district for 32 years, and Ms. Barbara Pattison, an aide at Abington Middle School who has served the district for 29 years.
Thank you. Questions or comments from the board? As always, we do thank our retirees for your service, and we wish you the best in the next chapter of your life. I do have a question, not a question, but a recognition of all the work that our staff does to engage students and make them feel welcome and have a sense of belonging, including the Title IV work with the mentorship between high school and middle school. Could you just speak a bit more about that, please?
Sure. First of all, I want to applaud the fact that this idea came from two Abington High School students. And so it's Haley Ashburn and Samantha McQuaid. And I wanted to, they brought the issue and concern about how to address this to my attention. And I then provided them with an audience of people to share their idea. And so from that, we were able to work toward making that idea come to life. And I'm going to ask Dr. Rosenthal if you could expand on how that has gone. If you could use the microphone on the side.
Thank you, Dr. Fetcher. Is it working?
Yep.
Okay. The program is called ALBI, and they began this year, starting at the high school with a club where they had about 14 students participate. They made it down to the middle school for mentoring 5 times this year, and their last meeting was held at the high school. They are all going to be 9th graders next year, and they got a personal tour from their mentors at the high school so that they feel more comfortable next year. All of the students at the middle school were selected through the core team as needing a Tier 2 intervention.
Excellent, outstanding. Thank you so much. Any other questions or comments? Mrs. Flanagan?
Mr. Allen?
Aye.
Ms. Frazier?
Aye.
Ms. Eisenhart?
Aye.
Dr. Mowry?
Aye.
Ms. Spalding?
Aye.
Mr. Mohammed?
Aye.
Ms. Fazy?
Aye.
Ms. Hartman?
Aye.
Mrs. Brown?
Aye, ayes have it, and motion passes. Ms. Spalding, can you please read the recommendation for permits for the use of buildings and grounds?
That the Board of School Directors approves the applications for permits for use of buildings and grounds as reflected in addendum number 9.1. All permits are subject to change per the provisions of the health safety plan pertaining to the COVID-19 pandemic.
Aye.
Second?
Sorry, second.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say aye, second. Thank you so much, Dr. Fetcher.
The permit,
ahead of myself.
the permit addendum continues to reflect a request for buildings and grounds for this time of year.
Thank you. Questions or comments from the board? Mrs. Flanagan?
Mr. Allen?
Aye.
Ms. Frazier?
Aye.
Ms. Eisenhart?
Aye.
Dr. Mowry?
Aye again.
Ms. Spalding?
Aye.
Mr. Mohammed?
Aye.
Ms. Fazy?
Aye.
Ms. Hartman?
Aye.
Mrs. Brown?
Aye, ayes have it, and motion passes. Ms. Spalding, can you please read the recommendation for awards of contracts?
That the Board of School Directors approves the awards of contracts as reflected in addendum number 10.1.
Second.
We have a second, Dr. Fetcher.
Thank you, Ms. Brown. Tonight, for your consideration, we have 5 awards of contracts and 4 Montgomery County Schools entities joint purchasing agreements. The first is for Access Program Services, and this is paid by Access Funds. Endpoint Protection Software, Filtering and Management Solution, Help Desk and Asset Management System, Patch Management and Remote Control Software, and the 4 Montgomery County School entities joint purchasing awards are for custodial supplies, duplication and copy paper, computer paper, trash removal and recycling, and unleaded gas and diesel fuels.
Thank you. Questions or comments from the board? Mrs. Flanagan?
Mr. Allen?
Aye.
Ms. Frazier?
Aye.
Ms. Eisenhart?
Aye.
Dr. Mowry?
Aye.
Ms. Spalding?
Aye.
Mr. Mohammed?
Aye.
Ms. Feasy?
Aye.
Ms. Hartman?
Aye.
Mrs. Brown?
Aye, ayes have it, and motion passes. Ms. Spalding, can you please read the recommendation for approval of the contract with CM3?
It is recommended that the administration, in consultation with the solicitor, prepare and enter into a contract with CM3 Building Solutions Incorporated to provide all necessary services, including construction and upgrades related to energy efficiency measures at Abington School District Administration Building, Copper Beach, Highland, Overlook, Roslyn, Rideau West, and Willow Hill Elementary Schools, and the bus garage. The project will be provided as recommended in the investment grade audit report dated May 28, 2024, and in accordance with the scope of work contained in the report. The project cost shall be in an amount not to exceed $5,205,304, with energy savings guaranteed under PA Act 39, 57, 77, and 163 guidelines.
Second.
We have a second, Dr. Fetcher.
So earlier this evening, CM3 Building Solutions presented the findings of the investment grade audit for the district and the recommended scope for the Giza project. We can answer any additional questions that you may have at this time.
Thank you. Questions or comments from the board?
I just wanted to make a quick comment and thank the folks from CM3 for a cogent and meticulous presentation tonight. That's very helpful to us.
Thank you. Any additional questions or comments? Mrs. Flanagan?
Mr. Allen?
Aye.
Ms. Frazier?
Aye.
Ms. Eisenhart?
Aye.
Dr. Mowry?
Aye.
Ms. Spalding?
Aye.
Mr. Mohammed?
Aye.
Ms. Feasy?
Aye.
Mrs. Hartman?
Aye.
Mrs. Brown?
Aye, ayes have it, and motion passes. Ms. Spalding, can you please read the recommendation for appointing the PSBA delegates?
That the Board of School Directors appoint Elizabeth Einhardt and Rachel Hartman as voting delegates to the PSBA 2024 Delegate Assembly, and that the Board Secretary complete and submit the certification of voting delegates.
Second.
We have a second, Dr. Fetcher.
Thank you, Ms. Brown. This item is the annual request from PSBA to appoint voting delegates to attend the delegate assembly.
Thank you. Questions or comments from the board? I just want to thank Ms. Eisenhart and Ms. Hartman for stepping up to serve at this capacity on top of everything else that you already do here and within the community. Ms. Flanagan.
Mr. Allen?
Aye.
Ms. Frazier?
Aye.
Ms. Eisenhart?
Aye.
Dr. Mowry?
Aye.
Ms. Spalding?
Aye.
Mr. Mohammed?
Aye.
Ms. Feasy?
Aye.
Ms. Hartman?
Aye.
Mrs. Brown?
Aye, ayes have it, and motion passes. Ms. Spalding, can you please read the recommendation for approval of the employee assignment book?
That the Board of School Directors approves the employee assignment book for 2024 to 2025, subject to correction if calculations do not reflect the appropriate bargaining agreement.
Second.
We have a second, Dr. Fetcher.
Thank you, Ms. Brown. The employment assignment book for 2024-25 reflects compensations to employees in bargaining unit agreements and those established by the board for individuals not represented by a bargaining unit, which I know that you have had the opportunity to fully review.
Thank you so much. Questions or comments from the board? Mrs. Flanagan?
Mr. Allen?
Aye.
Ms. Frazier?
Aye.
Ms. Eisenhart?
Aye.
Dr. Mowry?
Aye.
Ms. Spalding?
Aye.
Mr. Mohammed?
Aye.
Ms. Feasy?
Aye.
Ms. Hartman?
Aye.
Mrs. Brown?
Aye, ayes have it, and motion passes. Ms. Spalding, can you please read the recommendation for reappointing the solicitor?
That the Board of School Directors appoints the firm of Weisler Perstein for Abington School District for the period beginning July 1st, 2024, and ending June 30th, 2025, for an annual base compensation of $46,000. All services not covered by the base compensation will be charged in accordance with the memorandum entitled Abington School District / Solicitor Compensation as reflected in addendum number 14.1.
Second.
We have a second, Dr. Fetcher.
It is necessary at this time to reappoint our solicitor of the firm Whistler Pearlstein LLP for the 2024-25 school year. I would like to take a moment to say that we've been extremely pleased with the services Whistler Pearlstein has provided to Abington School District since 1992, and we would like the firm to continue in that capacity.
Thank you. Questions or comments from the board?
Agree.
Agreed. Thank you for your services. Thank you for your expertise and your sound wisdom and taking my calls. I appreciate you. It is important that we do this well, and you help us to do this well. So thank you so much. Mrs. Flanagan?
Mr. Allen?
Aye.
Ms. Frazier?
Aye.
Ms. Eisenhart?
Aye.
Dr. Mowry? Aye.
Ms. Balding?
Aye.
Mr. Mohammed?
Aye.
Ms. Feasy?
Aye.
Ms. Hartman?
Aye.
Mrs. Brown?
Aye. Ayes have it. A motion passes. Ms. Spalding, can you please read the recommendation for Act 80 day exceptions?
That the Board of School Directors authorizes the superintendent to request the Pennsylvania Department of Education, PDE, to approve Act 80 exception days for the 2024 to 2025 school year according to activities approved in Pennsylvania Statutes Title 24 PS Education Section 15-1504 as amended by Act 80 of 1969.
Second.
We have a second, Dr. Fetcher.
Thank you, Ms. Brown. The request for an Act 80 exception permits us to use in-service days or parent guardian conferences that impact the educational program as a method to account for possibility of fewer than 900 and 990 instructional hours or fewer than 180 days of instruction in the event of weather-related or other emergency situations that may occur.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Questions or comments from the board? Mrs. Flanagan?
Mr. Allen?
Aye.
Ms. Frazier?
Aye.
Ms. Eisenhart?
Aye.
Dr. Mowry?
Aye.
Ms. Balding?
Aye.
Mr. Mohammed?
Aye.
Ms. Feasy?
Aye.
Ms. Hartman?
Aye.
Mrs. Brown?
Aye. Ayes have it. A motion passes. Ms. Spalding, can you please read the recommendation to approve the Prince by Shelley agreement?
That the Board of School Directors authorizes the administration to enter into an agreement with Prince by Shelley LLC for services based upon the rates and fees set forth in the agreement.
Second.
We have a second, Dr. Fetcher.
Thank you, Ms. Brown. As part of the school mental health grant awarded by Abington School District by the Pennsylvania Commission on Crime and Delinquency, the administration recommends the hiring of a consultant to train and coach our staff on trauma-informed practices and restorative practices. This contractor, Prince by Shelley, will utilize Ms. Rochelle Haynes, a school counselor who has previously experienced working here as a school counselor in both the middle school and the senior high school.
Mm-hmm. Questions or comments from the board?
I'm kind of curious. What is this? Like, I mean, I read through the contract, and I read through the executive content, but can you expand a little bit on what?
Sure. Dr. Rosenthal, if you could summarize the program.
Yes, thank you. So Prince by Shelley is Rochelle Haynes. She developed an LLC when she resigned from her middle school counselor position. And she currently serves as a counselor, as a fill-in right now for someone needed at the high school. Starting this summer, however, by way of the mental health grant that Dr. Fetcher just mentioned, we are starting initiatives for training all staff on trauma-informed practices as well as restorative practices. And both of these initiatives will be promoted throughout the year through coaching and training by Rochelle as well as one of our own school psychologists due to the money from this grant.
Mm-hmm.
So this is this person's first time out on their own doing consulting to a school district, and so my point is, do we know that this works from other partnerships, or are we the first?
So we, first of all, Rochelle Haynes is a counselor who's been here a long time.
understand.
But yeah, she will undergo some training this summer along with one of our school psychologists. Both were utilized as we talked with other school districts how they were using the money. Some of them are either using a staff member that's willing to go on special assignment for a year, or hiring someone like a counselor or psychologist to come in and do this kind of training. That's where we got the idea. We were comfortable with Rochelle just because she knows all the administrators and staff already and has a background in restorative training practices at the middle school. So we'd like to see that utilized across the district through the training and mapping out that training this summer for the year.
I would just add that she's an amazing counselor. She's really talented.
Yes, and I like to say, initially, when I learned that she retired, well, not retired, what do you call it?
Resign.
Yeah, resigned. I was very disheartened. And so, what, a year or so later, I'm thrilled to hear that she's back in this capacity. I asked her, she did a inventory, gave my kid an inventory to determine what his career choice might be some years ago. And when he was 2 years old, or since he was 2, I used to tell him he was going to be an engineer. So then she said, based on the results, he'd likely be an educator. And I thought, oh, no, please administer. And so he took it. Well, anyway, so he's a teacher. So congratulations, Rochelle Haynes. Yeah.
Any other questions or comments from the board? I definitely appreciate the work that's being put in, especially with trauma-informed practices and trauma-informed education. You said something about restorative practices. I know that Copper Beach was the first elementary school to receive that training. Can you speak to what % of our teachers or what other schools have received the training since then?
Yes, well, a few years back, I can't remember the year, but through a different grant, we had trained a number of staff from the middle school and Copper Beach on restorative practices. Those staff have moved around a bit since then or resigned. So we're looking to start a full training of the staff. We are looking at November 1st for professional development of all staff on trauma-informed practices. And the restorative practices training will actually start on the 25th of this month through a number of us that went through the train the trainer model. So myself and 2 other people will be working with a number of our staff, as well as Rochelle and the psychologist I mentioned.
You'll be working with the 12-month staff.
I'm sorry?
You'll be working with administrators?
Yes.
Okay.
There'll be administrators.
Our
this
teachers
summer.
will be on the beach somewhere enjoying themselves. Yes? Okay. All right. Any additional?
That's what they choose.
That's what they choose to do.
Some
Yes.
people don't like this.
Yeah. Any additional questions or comments from the board? Thank you so much. I am excited to vote yes for this. Ms. Flanagan?
Mr. Allen?
Aye.
Ms. Frazier?
Aye.
Ms. Eisenhart?
Aye.
Dr. Mowry? Aye. Ms. Spalding?
Aye.
Mr. Muhammad?
Aye.
Ms. Vasey?
Aye.
Ms. Hartman?
Aye.
Mrs. Brown?
Aye. Ayes have it, and motion passes. Dr. Fetcher, any additional reports for this evening?
Yes, Ms. Brown, I provide the conference attendance and professional leaves report and the capital improvements projects report for your information.
Thank you. Any other business to be brought about from my fellow board members? I do have something, not necessarily for discussion for today, but to keep in your mindset that I am going to ask Dr. Fetcher to place on the agenda for the next board meeting the proposal to raise a pride flag in the month of June. And I want to be transparent with that, so that is something that you can think about and we can deliberate in public for the next board meeting. Okay. Okay. That takes us to comments from citizens. Comments from citizens are being conducted both in person and by phone. The phone number to participate in public comment is 267-715-3717 and is being displayed on the screen at this time. You'll be able to join in using your mobile or landline phone. If there's anyone within the room, there are mics to the left and to the right of you. Please be sure to state your name and address. Again, Mr. Sneed, please let me know how much time is an appropriate amount of time to make sure our callers have the opportunity to call in.
It just appeared on the stream, so we got about 60 seconds.
Thank you so much.
And there is no one on the line.
Thank you. With that being said, we'll have our closing comments from my fellow board members. Mr. Allen, if you would like to proceed, you may.
That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Frazier?
No, thank you.
Ms. Eisenhart?
I just want to second again that it was a joy to celebrate so many of our wonderful students and to recognize the staff and administration that does such a wonderful job with our kids day to day. So thank you, and good luck these last couple of days.
Thank you. Dr. Mowry?
I would second Ms. Eisenhardt's remarks, as I'm destined to do these days. But I also wanted to wish everyone a happy Pride Month and a happy Juneteenth coming up.
Thank you. Ms. Spalding?
I happened to say I'm up late, real late. There's a show called America This Morning. Comes on at 3:30. It's and it's a national show. And I happened to see at the very end, they were talking about this school crossing guard named Dottie from Abington Township, Pennsylvania, which is just north of Philadelphia, retiring after 47 years. And they showed her, and then it was a good size clip and story on her. And I was like, oh, I was tickled pink that, a national TV program honored somebody from Abington Township. So I just thought that was great. And then later on, ABC News mentioned that at the 6 o'clock news or 5:30 news, which I watched before I came here tonight. That's it.
Mr. Yassine? Mr. Muhammad? Sorry.
Eid Mubarak. There's an Eid coming up on Monday. It's the second of two Eids that occur every year. Happy Juneteenth. Congratulations on almost wrapping up another school year. I'm looking forward to at least closing the book and quickly reopening it. Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you. Ms. Fazy?
Doesn't last long.
So I just I've been reflecting a little bit over the past school year, as my kids finish out the year and as we close out. And I just want to say thank you to everyone for all your hard work that you put in and day out. Congratulations to all of our graduates. Happy Pride. And also, my little thoughts I've been going through my mind is that, our kids, they not only come to school and leave school every day after day throughout the school year and learn academics, but throughout these days, they're also learning their strengths, their talents, their passions, and about themselves. And that's what I've been seeing with my own.
Thank you. Ms. Hartman?
I want to congratulate all the graduates, but also all of our fifth graders moving into the middle school who had their ceremonies recently, and our eighth graders moving into the high school who've had ceremonies recently. And just thank everyone for the hard work that goes into teaching our young people and helping them to be successful. We saw a lot of great kids here tonight getting awards and just a lot of excitement, and it's just great to be here. So thank you to everyone.
Excellent. Dr. Fetcher?
First of all, I'd like to thank everyone for the accomplishments that occurred, that we celebrated this evening and continue to celebrate. I know that it does take a strong community and working with the school district to make all that possible. And for that, I am extremely grateful to serve in this community. I'd like to take a moment to just recognize that, tonight, as we went through the awards of contract, I mentioned, I think it was 4 or 5 awards that were specific to our computers and running our systems and keeping that safe. And although they are, quickly mentioned this evening, I want to take a moment to thank Mr. Sneed for his background information and always trying to find the right way to keep our students and staff safe when it comes to the computers and also here at the board meetings. And as we look at that work, we are always trying to work within a budget, find the best possible solution. But there's an extreme amount of work that goes behind that. And as I read through the awards and have provided some background, of course, to the board, but I wanted to take a moment to just say that I appreciate the hard work that you did to make that possible and to keep us running and in a world where cyber safety is extremely important. Thank you.
Thank you.
Here.
Here. One thing that I didn't hear mentioned in addition to Eid and Happy Pride is the D-Day that just passed, and I know there were students who were honored during a ceremony, as well as community members who were honored from the 1944 Allied invasion of Normandy. And I just want to thank anyone who attended that. Dr. Swift, I know you were there and you spoke, so thank you so much for taking the time to honor the people who fought so hard for liberation. With that being said, everyone have a great evening. This meeting is adjourned.